Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd do another quick update on a product I've been using recently. I decided to buy a Feiyutech G6 Plus gimbal for my setup. I used to have the DJI Osmo Mobile 2, but it was quite limited on what cameras you can use on it. Either a mobile phone or a GoPro, and I wasn't best pleased about using either of them to film on. So I went with this just mainly because of cost. I actually did really well. I got it on eBay. The seller, sorry, who was selling it, put it in the wrong category. So I actually got it for £85 when they should be upwards of 200s. My only limit is the weight that this can hold. I know that the limit of it is about 800 grams from memory. Yeah, 800 grams. My camera, or one of my cameras who I would want to use on this, which is my Nikon D3400, isn't heavy at all, especially with the cheap and cheerful kit lens or even the 50mm Yanugo lens that this is being recorded on now. I knew between them I wasn't going to be too far off of the 800 grams. So I decided to pick it up anyway. And this isn't a review or an unboxing or anything like that, just because I haven't used it that much and I don't really want to start going too into detail with it if I haven't used it too much. But what this is, and I struggled finding this when I was looking for this product, is can this gimbal hold a DSLR? I've got two DSLRs. I've got the Nikon 3400 and the Nikon 5200, which this is being recorded on now. Out of the two, this is the lighter camera. It's really light, to be honest. And even with the lens on it as well, it's not too bad. So what we're going to do, I'm going to weigh the camera now, and I'm going to set the gimbal up just to show you how it performs with the camera on there. As you can see, that I've kind of totally set the gimbal back to how it came out the box. I've unbalanced it for this camera, so you'll see quickly how quick it is to balance it once it's kind of all on there. But what I'm going to do is now, I'm going to get some scales. Okay, right, so my camera with the base plate that goes for the gimbal weighs, let's turn it on first. Weighs 466 grams. Okay, right, so if we put the normal kit lens on there, take the covers off, that weighs 659 grams. Well within the limit of what this gimbal can hold. The only thing I don't like about Nikon lenses is the fact that you've got to extend them. So you kind of, as soon as you extend it, or change this at all, it goes out of balance. So you kind of have to bear that in mind every single time. I generally use this gimbal with that lens, which is a fixed lens, so once it's on there, it's pretty straightforward. The only thing is that's a 50mm and it's probably a little bit too zoomed in for what I need. Right, you do have to be careful with your lenses. I've got a Nikon AFS 18-200 lens here. This thing is heavy. This is really heavy. It actually weighs 617 grams on its own. So that lens is pretty much the same as that camera and kit lens. It's a good lens, but something like this is way too heavy for this gimbal. So you're probably only going to get away with a lightweight prime lens or one of the kit lenses that come with it. Let's get rid of those. Okay, right. So I've already put the base plate on the camera. What you have to do actually, whilst you're on the base plate, you have to go as far back as possible and as far over as possible that way to give yourself some room. Okay, right. So once it's on, quick release. So as you can see, it's right out of balance at the moment. Okay, so unscrew the arm. Okay. As you can see, it's right out of balance. So if we extend that first, that's really important to do. You have to extend it. As with most gimbals, it's just about feel. Okay, the only thing is with this gimbal and DSLRs, it generally always hits at the top here. So there is no going down from high down to low, which I don't mind. For the cost of the gimbal, it didn't really bother me, to be honest. So if we just make sure everything clears. Because of this lens is quite front heavy once you extend it, you generally have to go quite far back. But then you've got the fear of hitting on the back here. So I'm almost there. Let's do a little bit more. What you want is for it just to sit level. Okay, I think that might do it. So I should bring this up a little bit. Like I say, this isn't a tutorial at all, it's just a quick will it work? Because when I took the plunge with this, I didn't really know if it was going to or not. Okay, let's try that. Try and turn the gimbal on. Okay. So as you can see, gimbal works quite well. You do have to adjust the motor speeds on the gimbal when you first play around with it. But to be honest, it's really steady. I say, if you can't go down any further than that because the gimbal hits the top, even with the rubber removed, but it doesn't make a difference. With a lighter lens, you could push the gimbal forward, but I say, the cost of it cost me 80 quid, and I'm not limited on just this camera. I can use GoPros, I can use my HX80, which is over here. I struggle a little bit with my 5200, just because that's a heavier camera. And to be honest, the 3400, I don't mind. It's got loads of settings on it, but I'm not going to bore you with those now. So yeah, it actually works really well. Does quite. You can use the selfie mode. I've got an extender piece on the bottom, which I think was from eBay, which cost like a £5, only because it splits off into a tripod and it's quite easy to use. So yes, if you are thinking about getting this gimbal, it does work with DSLRs, light ones. I wouldn't go nearer the 800 grams on it, only because you're going to have problems setting it up. But the Nikon 3400 and I presume the 3200 and the 3500 now, I think as well, will all work. As you can see, there we go. Okay, right, so there is an app that you can set up time lapses and stuff like that. The app's not great, to be honest. It's very hit and miss, and the time lapse feature as well. You set all the settings up in the app, and then you turn it on via some presses on this button. It's not a function I use too often, to be honest. I'm gonna start having a look to see if there's any way I can hack it to give like a remote feature, so I can use my phone to move the gimbal around whilst it's a camera, like they do on the DJI stuff. But like I say, we can see. I've got an idea. It'll be something I play with in the next week or so. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I do apologise for how long it's taken to get this video out. I think it's been a few months since I've actually released a video. mainly because we've moved. We've had a baby. Work's been going mental. I thought I'd just get all that stuff done first. As you can see, we're in a nice new location. We've got loads of new videos coming up. We've got loads of extra little toys and gadgets I've just been playing with, which, like I say, I'll release some videos on soon. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys.